Conor McGregor announced his plans to compete again in the UFC at the start of 2023. In the same interview, White revealed that McGregor had chronic ankle arthritis and had experienced ankle problems for the past 2 years. Even his longtime trainer predicted a comeback sometime later in the year. With all these rumors and updates coming in, let's take a look at Conor McGregor's possible comeback. Let's dive right into it, starting off with the Instagram Live revelation. Even with his injury in July of last year, Conor McGregor remains one of the most well-known fighters in the UFC. He does, however, seek a spectacular return. Hopefully soon, McGregor posted on social media claiming he was going to be back. He even went on to specify that his goal is early 2023, roughly in the first quarter. The former UFC champion hasn't fought since he fractured his leg by accident after his second straight defeat to Dustin Poirier at UFC 264 in July 2021. Due to the severity of the injury, UFC president Dana White anticipated that the Irishman wouldn't be able to compete again until the summer of 2022. With that said, doctors have predicted that Conor McGregor will make a full recovery and return to the octagon in a statement sent by his agent, Audi Attar. Conor McGregor hasn't competed in a year, but UFC president Dana White is hoping the Notorious One's sabbatical is close to the end. Following this, we have Mr. Hollywood has something to say. The 34-year-old has also been filming a remake of the classic Roadhouse, with Jake Gyllenhaal in the Dominican Republic, which has put McGregor's early 2023 comeback 9 months behind schedule. Conor McGregor, a two-time UFC champion, will star with Jake Gyllenhaal in Prime Video's new adaptation of the iconic 1980s action film, Roadhouse. This will be Conor McGregor's acting debut in a big studio film. The UFC superstar has been pursued by Hollywood for some time, but McGregor wasn't interested in rushing into anything and wanted his debut movie to be the right fit. According to insiders, he saw the movie for the first time when he heard there was an interest in having him join Roadhouse, and after appreciating the first one, he was willing to meet to discuss how he would appear in the sequel. McGregor stated that he will start training camp as soon as that movie is finished in the upcoming days. That will give him a solid couple of months to be ready for a UFC fight. The Notorious claims he'll be back when the production of the film has ended. He also claims that by the time this film debuts, he'll have won several fights. Next up, we have the plan of action. After breaking his leg, Conor McGregor is still healing. He nevertheless utilized the time for things other than improving his body. Starting a new business and physical rehabilitation, the Notorious intends to return to the cage in 2023 and give UFC fans more than one fight, according to The Sun. According to sources, he's bursting with confidence, is calm, and is completely aloof from his feelings. Conor has claimed that he is now conscious of what he needs to accomplish, and he's envisioning doing it. However, with this, McGregor is the only fighter on the UFC roster who has not yet been tested by the United States Anti-Doping Agency, USADA, for the full year, as Aaron Bronstetter reported for Canadian sports broadcaster TSN. Before he can participate, McGregor, who is rated number 13 in the lightweight division, must spend another 6 months in the USADA testing pool. However, USADA informed TSN that under extreme situations, the UFC may provide an exception to the 6-month written notice provision. Although he has previously been connected to fights with Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, or Charles Oliveira, it is unknown who McGregor will come back against. Mike Tyson, the legendary boxer, recommended Conor McGregor take 1 or 2 freebie bouts to regain his confidence before aiming for the UFC lightweight championship, which is now held by Islam Makhachev, while some fans say he could also face a fellow veteran, Tony Ferguson, who is rated number 14 at 155 pounds. Moving to Conor McGregor's list of potential comeback fights, let's get right into it. Starting at number 8 on our list, we have Jake Paul. Given that it would be a clear turning point for both competitors, this is likely the most profitable fight in combat sports. Could Jake Paul overcome McGregor to claim the biggest victory of his budding boxing career, or would the Irishman emerge with a crushing knockout to avenge losses and an injury? Paul stated to Insider in 2020 that he's larger and heavier than Conor, and McGregor's past his peak and washed up. He claimed that it'll be a huge fight and a major money earner if Conor and he are both pulling in millions of dollars from pay-per-view. In 2023, it seems unlikely that McGregor would face Paul. The match, though, might very well be scheduled when the UFC fighter's contract expires. Following this at number 7, we have Manny Pacquiao. Conor McGregor's earnings from a boxing match might greatly outweigh those from UFC fights, especially if he faces off against Manny Pacquiao. When Insider questioned Pacquiao this month about facing McGregor or facing Floyd Mayweather again, he responded by saying that's what he's looking for and called it a true fight. If McGregor faced Pacquiao, according to the boxer's former promoter, Bob Arum, McGregor would get knocked out very fast. However, Dana would be reluctant to approve the fight since he prefers to plan matches that take place exclusively in the UFC. At number 6 on our list, we have Jorge Masvidal. Conor McGregor and Jorge Masvidal are two of the most well-known athletes on the UFC roster, so a welterweight matchup between them would help the sport gain wider appeal and attract casual viewers. According to UFC analyst and commentator John Anik, Conor McGregor would certainly be his first option as Masvidal's opponent in 2020. Due to the size of the fight, Anik stated that there were more than 2 million pay-per-view purchases made at the box office. The fact that Masvidal, a boxer from Florida, has lost 3 straight matches is the main disadvantage of facing him. This battle could be more difficult to sell now than it was 2 or 3 years ago, since McGregor has dropped 3 of 4 previous MMA fights. Next up at number 5, we have Dustin Poirier. Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier have one of the most intense rivalries in MMA history, and despite Poirier's advantage in the series, 2 victories to McGregor's 1 defeat, McGregor is still determined to turn the tables. After fracturing his leg in the most recent defeat against Poirier, McGregor yelled. He was boxing and bleeding head off him, kicking the blood leg off him. McGregor claims this isn't over and he's willing to take it outside if he has to, and he couldn't care less. In 2022, Poirier told the media that he doesn't want to face Conor again. He explained how that door is shut for him, and he would only do it if paid well. Poirier claims he's triumphed over him twice in a row and laughed about it, asking questions like, quote, "Can I surpass my last 2 efforts? Can I get him to pass out faster? Could I 10-7 him? What am I supposed to do? I completed it. If I do it again, it will just be for money, right?" Following this at number 4, we have Rafael dos Anjos. The 2016 bout between Rafael dos Anjos and Conor McGregor was postponed, owing to an injury the Brazilian suffered before their expected UFC 196 encounter. Dos Anjos has tried for the fight ever since. Following his latest submission victory over Brian Barberena, Dos Anjos stood in the center of the octagon, took the microphone, and called out to Conor McGregor. He spoke on the mic saying he won this fight by defeating Donald Cerrone 7 years ago. He moved up a category and their bout was scheduled. He broke his foot, yet here he is. Dos Anjos ended the night by telling McGregor that he'll see him in July after he has a few months to rid his body of all the garbage he's eating. Closing up at number 3, we have Nate Diaz. After winning his final UFC fight of the year against Tony Ferguson, Nate Diaz formally became a free agent. However, there's a rumor that the MMA legend may make a comeback to the octagon, which UFC commentator Chael Sonnen highlighted last month. According to MMA Fighting, Sonnen stated on the MMA Hour that all alternatives are on the table, but there's also the chance to go back to the UFC and take on Conor McGregor. In 2 of the most popular MMA events ever, Diaz and McGregor squared off. Diaz won the first fight through submission, and McGregor evened the score by winning the sequel via decision. Regardless of whether it takes place in the UFC for a different MMA company or even in a boxing ring, the 3rd chapter in their drama would probably attract a lot of attention. Next up at number 2, we have Paddy Pimblett. Because of his passionate fan base and talkative personality, British boxer Paddy Pimblett's rise has some similarities to Conor McGregor's. If you included that athlete in a McGregor campaign, pre-fight press conferences, face-offs, and shoulder programming might provide the type of excitement that boosts ticket sales dramatically. Insider questioned a corporate source about the possibility of a McGregor super fight headlining International Fight Week in Las Vegas in 2023 after Pimblett's UFC triumph. But according to that source, should McGregor decide to return to the octagon, there are better alternatives available. Finally, at number 1 on our list, we have Michael Chandler. If you enjoy spectacularly strong violence, Conor McGregor's rematch with Michael Chandler is the one to watch. As the 3-time lightweight champion of Bellator MMA, Chandler joined the UFC in 2021 and has since gained a devoted following for his televised style of warfare. Only a select few UFC competitors like Chandler are deserving winners of the McGregor lottery. Chandler recently spoke to ESPN and asked them who they want to be standing on the opposite side of the octagon from 34-year-old McGregor but him. He went on to explain how Conor, his crew, the UFC, and the entire MMA community are all aware of it, saying he's now a bigger attraction. But that's a wrap for this video, my friends. Do you think Conor McGregor will make a comeback, and who do you think he's fighting if he does? Let us know in the comments below. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel while you're down there for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.